Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over a rifle that I've had in probably since May or June of this year, and I actually hadn't heard about it until I saw my friend Cameron from the Twang and Bang channel do a review of a rifle that's very similar to this. His was just the next model up in terms of features and price points, but this rifle has tons of features for the price point, which we're going to get into here in a little bit. Now, one thing that if you look at Bergara's website, you'll notice right off the bat is their slogan is the most accurate rifle that you've never heard of. So from everything I've seen, that seems to be true, but what we're going to do next is step outside and do a quick accuracy test and see what kind of groups we can get out of this rifle barrel action combo.
Now we're going to see what kind of accuracy we can get out of this rifle here. We have the 150 grain full metal jacket practice stuff remanufactured ammo here from Freedom Munitions. That's one load we're going to test. We also have some Gorilla munitions, or Gorilla ammunition rather. This is a 175 grain Sierra Match King bullet. Very consistently accurate bullet in my experience, or round I should say. And then we have the Federal Premium in this one, which is 168 grain Sierra Match King bowtail hollow point again. A gold medal match. Stuff's also consistently very accurate. So target is downrange at 100 yards. We have the Primary Arms Platinum Series scope on there, 6 by 30, I should say. Sitting in American Defense mount. I brought a rest out today, but I didn't bring all the pieces to it. So we're going to just use the bags. So a little bit of human error will be induced, of course, but with this rifle and this trigger, I don't see it really being much of an issue. So, more yapping, let's get to it. Alright, so my point of aim on that one was the top of the circle, simply because that little Wilson Combat logo. I already had a round in there, I didn't want to confuse you guys. So with this one, we're going to move over to the center Wilson Combat logo and go at that. We have the, this is the Gorilla ammunition load here, 175 grain Sierra Match King. And we'll see what it does. Oh, it doesn't look too bad from here. One thing to point out, I don't know what the reasoning behind this is, but it's just something to note. All the practice stuff I've used, whether it be Freedom Munitions or PMC or anything like that, that's not match grade ammo. I don't know if it's the casings or what, but the bolt is much easier to run with the match grade ammo. I don't know why. That's a mystery to me. But maybe some of you guys know. If you do know, please post down in the comments section and educate me, because I don't know why. All right, we'll move over to the Wilson Combat logo on the right. That one felt like a little bit of a pull to me. Go check it out. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess you guys know which load this rifle's zeroed for, right? So with the Freedom Munitions, again, I was aiming right at the top of this circle. That was my hold. And pretty big group there. We had 2.5 inches. So definitely doesn't like that load. I don't know if it's the actual fact that it's a lighter 150 grain bullet, or if it's just, you know, because it's practice stuff. Who knows? But with the Gorilla center to center, we are right at just under 1.5 inches. So just under 1.5 inches on that group. And then the Federal, as you guys can see, that's an exceptional group, which I expected. I've actually done this before off camera. So that's pretty consistent. And right there, we're under 3/4 inch, center to center there. I make sure both ways. Well, if we measure it that way, center to, yeah, we're right at 3/4 inch. So 3/4 inch at 100 yards. I'll take that group, especially off the jerry-rigged rest we had.
Before getting deep into the details on the rifle, I just wanted to point out a couple things that it comes with. Number one is going to be this test target. So 623 there is going to be the serial number of my rifle, as you guys will see later on in the video. And here is the test target, and it actually shows that it's Federal 308 168 grain load that it was shot with. So I did not shoot that out there, but of course we had very good results with the Federal. And again, there was no bench out there, which is totally my fault for not bringing all the pieces. But I have no doubt that that's absolutely what this rifle is capable of with good factory ammunition. So moving on, it also comes with this nice carrying case. It's a soft case. It's got a couple inside layers, so you can put your mags and any other goodies in here. And then of course inside, nice big padded foam area, and marked Bergara, of course, on the outside. Starting at the end of the rifle, we do have a dead air armament key lock brake that comes factory, and one thing I'll point out there is that it's perfectly fit to the barrel shoulder, so there's no shims or anything like that. It just shows the attention to detail that goes into these sort of rifles. Instead of, you know, a quick easy fix would have been to shim it up, but no, they actually fit the barrel and the brake together to fit together perfectly, so that way it's indexed properly at 90 degrees on top. Now, I did not use it with a dead air suppressor, unfortunately, during this review. I do have a Sandman S, though, sitting in NFA jail. Hopefully the ATF will pardon it soon enough, and we'll be able to get it in and actually use it on this rifle. But overall, the brake, of course, does a very good job keeping the muzzle on track, but it is a little bit blasty, like most brakes. Like all the Bergara rifles that are sold here in the US, this barrel starts out with a barrel blank that's made over in Spain and shipped over to the US, and then it's fit to the receiver and the action that we have here, which we'll get into a little bit more here in just a second. But the barrel itself, you can see that it's got a nice medium taper on it, and that's to keep the rifle relatively light. It's a 20-inch barrel with a 1 in 10 twist, and the rifle itself, everything unloaded, weighs in just under 10 pounds on my scale. So overall, very balanced rifle for sure. It's not front heavy like a lot of these precision rifles tend to be, which I do like. And of course, the barrel certainly performs well, as you guys have seen. The chassis the rifle comes with is actually an XLR Element chassis. It's made specifically for Bergara for this rifle. So you can see, of course, it's Bergara branded, but it does have the Element marking on the bottom as well as XLR here up front. So this is a very well-known chassis system in the precision rifle world, and it's not cheap at all. So the fact that it comes factory from Bergara certainly is a good thing. Relatively lightweight, very good finish and lines all the way down, as you guys can see. You can also attach rails along the sides should you need to do so. But overall, fit and the finish on the chassis is superb. The rail on top is a 20 MOA rail, which really is about as much as you'd need for a 308 in my opinion and experience. And just for what it's worth, I generally speak go ahead and blue Loctite all the screws that come on rifles that I get, and I went to back these out to go ahead and do that, and it was already done. So every one of them was Loctited properly as it should be from the factory. So I certainly like that. Just a nice thing overall to see the attention to detail that goes into these rifles. The mag well is cut for AI pattern magazines, which certainly is a good thing because those are available everywhere. And one of the really good things about it is that Magpul is now making the AI pattern mags, P-mags for them. So this is a 10-round magazine, and this is a 5-round mag. Now, those of you that have used AI mags in the past know that sometimes due to the feedlets on them, they tend to sort of drag in your bolt every now and then. It gets a little bit rough when you're running the action. With the P-mags, we didn't experience that at all. So I definitely think this is the way to go. Now, it may not look, you know, traditional to some of you guys out there, but if you want performance, I think these ones certainly are an advantage over the metal AI mags, whether you get the 5 or the 10. Both work equally well. On the left side of the receiver, we have the bolt release here. So if you want to take your bolt out for cleaning, that is how you do it. And down here on the trigger, we have the Timney 517 trigger, which is a time-tested, proven trigger. Really nice. It has the flat interface there with your finger. And from the factory, it comes set at 3 pounds, and it's just awesome. So almost no movement at all, as you guys just saw. That's what it looks like when you fire it. So you really can't blame the trigger if you're missing shots with this rifle. The bolt handle itself is this teardrop design, and the action is very smooth all the way around. One thing you notice when you run the action on the rifle versus like some less expensive rifles is just the slop as it gets towards the rear. There's almost none in this rifle. So that's one of the things you're paying for when you're getting a more high-end rifle versus like, you know, a $400 Savage, which those aren't bad rifles. I've reviewed them here before in the past, but it's just one of the differentiating factors. So we'll take the bolt out here and let you guys get a look at that. You'll see it is a 2-lug bolt and rotates freely. I probably should have cleaned the rifle, but we're leaving it dirty to keep the good accuracy going. But you can see there again, number 623, and it is machined and matched to the barrel, to the rifle. It's all fitted by hand individually for each rifle. The stock, of course, is part of the XLR Element chassis system, and definitely got some good things going on. Number one, if you want to replace it with, like, for instance, a Magpul PRS stock, you certainly can. Just remove the castle nut, and it will work just fine with that, and a lot of folks like that. So it does have an adjustable cheek riser, and it is adjustable for length of pull, as well as has QD, I should say, sling mounting points here on the back, nice rubber pad. One thing I would say though is eventually you're going to have to replace this top pad. Now, right now, as of filming of this, we have approximately 800 to 900 rounds through this rifle, and you can see it's starting to wear a little bit, but the good news is it's super cheap and probably won't cost you more than a few bucks to replace it with time. But it is nice to not have a piece of metal that gets cold and stuff like that sitting against your cheek. That little rubber interface does feel good. One thing I want to go over here before I move on with the video is that I shoot these videos in segments. So I think I got this rifle back in June. The accuracy portion that you guys watched was shot in August of this year. So it's now December while I'm filming this. So these things are spaced out because these reviews take time and a lot of rounds downrange before I can come back and sort of tell you what I think overall. Now, I mentioned earlier that some of the practice rounds, I think PMC and Freedom Munitions were sort of hanging up a little bit on the bolt. At that time, we probably had about 250 rounds through the rifle. Since then, we've put probably another 600 through it, and that has completely gone away. And I don't know if it was just a bad batch of ammo or what. Again, I still don't really know. It was kind of like a mystery to me, but now it's all gone and all of them run pretty smooth, so that's certainly a good thing. One thing I definitely have to bring up is going to be price point. So this rifle here comes into market right at $2,000 in terms of the MSRP, and that seems definitely sort of high. No getting around it. It's not a cheap rifle and not a knock around brush rifle at all. It is a precision rifle and meant to do that at a very good price point for what it brings. And if you actually go ahead and price all these different parts out, you know, like a true Remington 700 action, which is this action is actually based on the chassis system, the Timney trigger, a good high quality lapped barrel like you have here, the brake, all that stuff, you're going to get well over $1,000 just for parts, never mind the actual fitting of them together, and then obviously bringing the rifle to market. So I do think this rifle represents a very good value at the price point that it comes in at, and I would get it again for sure. So all in all, definitely like it, definitely recommend it if you're looking for a rifle like this. Now, I know a lot of people who are doing precision shooting, long range shooting, want the 6.5 Creedmoor. Well, they make one in 6.5 Creedmoor as well, so that's certainly an option for those of you guys looking for that. Of course, the 308, you're going to be able to shoot it a little bit more. It's more common ammo, it's a little bit cheaper, but 308 certainly gets the job done as well, but the 6.5 definitely will give you a little bit of a performance edge over it. So I suppose the decision is up to you. If you guys have any questions about the rifle or anything we talked about here in the video, by all means, you can post down below in the comments section. You can definitely look forward to seeing more of this rifle on the channel, as it's going to be used in several other tests. And of course, we have the suppressor coming in for it as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. If you're not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. And we hope to see you in the next video.
Oh yeah, that's fresh paint too, so you can see every hit.